It's a principle of the universe, all right? Someone squeezes you, that is, someone puts pressure on you, someone says things about you that you don't like, someone puts attention on you, whatever, your boss says something to you that you don't like, and out of you comes anger, and out of you comes hatred, and out of you comes fear, or out of you comes stress, or out of you comes tension. Why is it? Because of your boss, the way they squeeze never? Is it because of your mother? I mean, she really can be a pain sometimes, right? Is it because of your children? No, what comes out of you, always when someone squeezes you, is what's inside. This is the vital principle of being a no-limit person. It's so crucial to get this and understand that if you have any hatred in your heart for anyone in this world, or any anger, or any fear, or any of those things, it has nothing to do with the rest of the world. It only has to do with what you put inside. Now, how does what gets inside of you get there? That's the key. How does it get there? As you think, only as you think, you see. There's no anger in the world. There's no stress in the world. There's no tension. It's perfect. We've already it's perfect place. It works just fine. It's all flowing the way it's supposed to flow. The evidence for it is. That's all the evidence you need. Just look around you. Everything out there is a miracle. Everything, including you. There are no mistakes. It's all perfect, and everything that happens to you in your life, whether it's a trauma, whether it's a disease, whether it's somebody treating you in a certain way, there's a lesson in all of it. No limit. People understand the lesson in life and therefore celebrate the lessons. It's true. And when you get to that point in your life where you're not cursing the things that come your way and blaming the things that come your way, and particularly blaming it on somebody else, and you hear it all the time, she hurt my feelings. How's that possible? How can anybody hurt your feelings? Your feelings come from your thoughts. No one can hurt your feelings without your consent. No one can make a fool of you without your consent. No one can embarrass you without your consent. These are choices that you have that come from the way that you think someone calls you a name. Hey, stupid, and you turn around. I didn't even tell anybody I was coming. How did they know that H, and then you blame the person who called you a name instead of saying that's just their opinion, that's just where they are, that's where they are on the path, and it's okay. All of you are in relationships, right? Everybody has a relationship of some kind or another in your relationship. You have any problems? Any of you have relationship. You don't have any problems. I'd like you to take this microphone. I want to sit down and listen to you. Everybody in a relationship has problems, don't they? Right now, when you say I'm in a relationship, I got problems. Therefore, there's something wrong. Something's really wrong right now. If you're in a relationship and you have problems and something is wrong, you got to call in a consultant, right? You got to call in somebody to help you with the problems. You don't want the problems to go on. Who you going to call in? You only got yourself. It's all you got. You might get a therapist once in a while, but they got worse problems than you do. The only consultant who can help you with your problems is you. And who is that consultant that you're calling in? We've already established that there's something wrong with that person, right? Something wrong, so now you're going to call in a disabled person to deal with your problems in your relationship right now. This is a really sick approach to clearing your problems. You got somebody who says, we got a problem, you don't talk to me and I don't talk to you, and you came home last week and this week I called you and you didn't call, and I was supposed to call you and then you didn't do it, and how can you do that? Now this is the consultant you're calling. Excuse me, would you come in and help us? I don't know if I can help you or not. I didn't come home. That's the person you got to deal with your problems. All right, now what you can do is you can change all of that around. You can say, I'm in a relationship, we got problems, there's nothing wrong with that, that's the way things are. You know, my problem is that you are different than I am, and you think differently than I do, and you behave differently than I do, and you smell different than I do, and you have all of these attitudes over here that I don't have nothing wrong with. That's the way it is when two people get together in a relationship. You don't have two people becoming one. If you do that, then what you end up with are two half persons who wants a half a person in a relationship. You always are single, even if you're married and and involved in relationship, for you're still always single. You're still always your unique, special, perfect self that is not trying to love, but who is love, who lives. Love, who is being loved, the same as if you pray to God and say, God, will you please help me with my problems, and want God to do it for you. Never happen. You've got to be God, not be afraid to carry God around inside of you. If you want to get healed, you have got to understand that you're not going to get healed if you are asking someone else to heal you. And ask any doctor, if you know any surgeon, particularly who's taking somebody into surgery, and ask them which person has a better chance of living and surviving, say, serious surgery. Is it the one who has a will to live, or is it the one who's just given up, and the surgery and the cases are exactly the same? All right, but the person who has that will, which we can't define, you can't go out and get a bucket full of will and bring it in there. It's an attitude, it's an approach, it's a belief. One of those 10 secrets for success and inner peace is that you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it, and know this, that your mind created everything in your life that you call a problem. And self-actualizing, highly functioning people who live at these extremely, extraordinarily high levels of consciousness never put their thoughts on what is if they don't like what is. Because if your thoughts are on what is and you despise what is, and if you look at poor people, if you look at unsuccessful people, if you look at sickly people, if you look at tired people, if you look at addicted people, you will see people who put their attention constantly on their problems, on what is wrong, on what isn't working, on what I can't do, and so on. They'll tell you about it. They'll focus on it. And when your thoughts are on what is, and what you think about is what expands, you continue to attract more of what is into your life. When I had a practice, I had a woman who came to me who said, I just went through a divorce 7 months ago, and I've been dating, and I've dated 4 different men. And all 4 of them have used me as a sex object, and every single one of them called me up after the first date and, were mistreating me, and they didn't have any respect for me, and that was the end of it. And she said, I'd like you to talk to all 4 of these men. And I said, there's only one common denominator here. You are attracting into your life what you are putting your attention on. It's called the job effect. You can't think about what is missing, and you can't think and put your energy and talk about what is if you don't. Like what is can't do that unless you want more of that to show up. Third, you cannot put your attention or your thoughts or your energy on what always has been. If you put your thoughts or your energy on what always has been is what will continue to show up into your life. What always has been is the wake of a boat. Your life is a boat. It's heading up the river in that direction, and is heading there at 40 knots. And you're standing on the stern and you're looking down at the water. And as the boat goes in this direction, here you are looking down into the water. And what do you see? You see the wake, and what is the wake? The wake is the trail that is left behind. That's what the wake of your life is. That's what the wake of the boat is. And if you ask yourself the question, what's driving the boat? What's making this thing head in this direction? The answer is the present moment. Energy that is being generated by the engine, and nothing more, is what's making the boat go in this direction. And then if you ask yourself this key question, is it possible for the wake to drive the boat? Can a trail that is left behind make a boat go in this direction? What's the answer? Impossible, isn't it? And so too is it impossible for the wake of your life, the trail that you've left behind, to be the reason why your life is going in this direction. It is not because of anything that has happened back here. That's an illusion. That we live under what has happened back here is a trail, the choices you make in this moment. And if your thoughts are on what always has been, this is the way we've always done things, this is the kind of person I am, I can't change, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, all of those cliches that have become so much a part of our life. If your thoughts are on what always has been and you despise what always has been, you will continue to attract more of what always has been, even though you despise it. It works that way.